What's up, guys? Sorry I've been kind of distant. I've been underneath the weather for a week, so sorry about that. I'll try to make it through a 10-minute video. But anyways, so we've been getting a lot of messages about jigs, what we throw in the wintertime besides a suspended jerkbait. And one of them is, a jig, whether it's a football or finesse jig. So we'll break it down into like 10 sections maybe, or just keep it going as long as you all want to. But there's a lot to talk about when it comes to jig, how to, where we fish them, how we rig them, what colors we use. When you talk jig fishing, it opens up a lot of doors. So we'll just try like 8-10 episodes and go from there. So we'll start off with wintertime. Of course, I prefer a finesse jig. Here's one. This is a local jig a local guy makes named the Dirt Jig. This is just an old brown rubber. Here's one by Jack Baits, and it's just their power finesse jig. And I'll explain what I like about each of these jigs here in a second. Here's another one. This is my Motion Fishing, just a finesse jig. Here's some, ones that we actually make here in the shop. Just a football jig. And then you get your, you got your little micro jigs, your 1/4 ounce and stuff like that, where you don't put, many strands on there. Got a light wire gummy hook there. But, and then we'll talk about trailers and everything else. So we'll start off first. So as winter gets on, as it gets colder, there's two different theories, I think. One is, real finessey. And then the next is a big profile bait, and here in the Ozarks, we got a lot of clear water in the wintertime. So we probably throw more finessey stuff. Let's see. So like that Motion Fishing, it's got a real tight skirt up top. That Jack Baits jig. Now these Jack Baits jigs, I just get the heads from them. I like doing my own skirting just because it passes the time and gives me something to do. But I like certain colors, and also I just like to tweak them out myself. Then I can put more strands of skirt in there, less strands of skirt in there. So I just get the heads from them and then build my own custom skirts. It's easy to do. You buy a tool or just little needle nose pliers, slip a band over it, pull your skirt through, and you're done. But them are the finessey ones. When I say bigger profile, like this is just a 3/4 ounce football. Got a twin tail Yamamoto peanut butter and jelly skirt on there. This is a very common one I throw. I am a power fisherman. I like big line or bigger line. Wintertime, you can't always get away with that. But, I can still throw this on 12-pound line. Got a light wire gummy hook in it. It still sticks. But this is when I'm dragging that stuff in that, 15 to 20 foot in the wintertime, that's when I bump up to that 3/4. But when I'm going with say that Jack Baits jig, or that Motion jig, or even that Dirk's jig, something like that, I'll throw that on, 10 or 12-pound line, or a spinning gear with braid and like a 10-pound leader, something like that. But that's what I use for these. So let's start off with color. I'm very neutral when it comes to colors. I'm pretty basic. Greens and browns. That's typically, especially in the wintertime going into spring, that's what I like to throw. Here's another Jack Baits jig. It's just brown skirting. I got a little green pumpkin mixed in there. There's green pumpkin, peanut butter, and jelly. But them two are my base colors, and I kind of work off of them. Where I might add a little blue, a little chartreuse, a little orange, or something like that. There's pretty much just a pumpkin and a brown silicone. And then you got your old style rubber. Your rubber skirting. It's been around for a long time. Works extremely well in the Ozarks, as most, the old timers know. But I stay pretty basic with my colors, browns, greens, and then my trailers is where I really get, to me, I get picky. You know, I throw a lot of, I use a lot of green pumpkin trailers. This is a really good one. This is a Crocagator ring crawl. Very good crawdad trailer. This is a Lucky Strike Guido bug. I've had my hands on these for 15, 20 years now. This is probably my #1 trailer, especially as spring gets here. And that is 100% proven right there. But that dude's caught a lot of fish. So they were my crawl trailers, and of course, you know, your twin tails. That's another little common trailer that we throw. This is a 4-inch Yamamoto, you know, peanut butter and jelly. Then you get into your speed crawls, Zoom, you know, and I like this probably more late spring than I do wintertime. It's got, to me, it's got a little too much action for wintertime. But, you know, besides the crawls, the most common one I use is that little beaver. This is just the little sweet beaver by Reaction Innovation. This little dude, man, we can cut a 1/2 inch off that. You put it on a jig, you know, it sets tight, it's compact, and that's kind of what I'm looking for, a tight, compact deal. Here's another one. This is a Motion Fishing. This is like a penny crawl, I think is what they call it. Another good little low profile, you know, it's about 2 inches long. Works well on a finesse jig. When it gets really tough, there's a single tail. This is a Kalen single tail pumpkin seed. This one works extremely well when that water's nasty cold, and fish are not biting. I can put this, you know, on a little finesse jig just like this, and I still throw, most of the time I'll throw it on spinning gear, and I'll rig that dude up. It's something about, you know, a lot of it I think is just the profile, but that little dude right there. You'll get a lot of times, you get around these smallmouth lakes and they'll actually bite it coming back to the boat, you know, where you're swimming it some. But for the most part, when that bite gets tough, I go micro, and that little dude right there with that grub is 100% micro. But yeah, the beavers, the little beavers. But color-wise, so again, on the skirting, I stay pretty basic. Browns, peanut butter and jellies, green pumpkins, stuff like that. But this is where I change it up. This is where when I put a trailer on a jig, for instance, let me find it here. Here we go. This is a Jack Baits. I put straight brown silicone on there with some smoked peanut butter and jelly. So what I like to do a lot of times is I'll take these beavers and I'll just thread it on there, just like a normal jig trailer. But I'll show you, you know, and they're not real flappy. Like a lot of jig trailers, like, you know, they all got their time and place, you know, like a pack a chunk. Great. It's a great, you know, jig trailer. It's just not something I use in the winter time. It's more something I use late spring going into summer, maybe fall. It's got bigger paddles on it. It paddles more. But I want something more compact with that dude right there. You know, it's just a long, slender, and I still flip with this one. The nice thing, you know, and again, they all got their place, but the nice thing about like a Jack Baits compared to the Motion, they're the same, they're similar. They're both a ball head, which is something I really prefer. I like a ball head because it's basic. I can skip it, I can swim it. They always swim straight. They skip extremely easy. They go over rocks extremely easy, so I like to stick with a ball head. But the difference in the two is the hook size. Like the Motion one has a light wire hook, and then the Jack Baits one has a heavy wire hook. So this one I might be throwing on 15 pound, where this one I might be throwing on 12 pound. So I have them both tied on in the boat with me, and I'm going down a bank fishing, and say I hit a laydown, and I have a feeling there's a big fish there, so I want to bulk it up some. So I'm going to throw that Jack Baits one a little bit more because of the heavier hook, and I can jack them a little bit easier. Where the Motion Fishing one has a lighter hook. So this is probably more of a casting jig for me, where I'm just throwing it up on the bank, dragging it back, or you know, swimming it under, next to a dock, or flicking it underneath a cable or something like that. But most of the time I'm dragging, where I have that delayed reaction to set the hook. Maybe use a softer rod. But yes, another good thing, you know, a lot of people don't talk about them much anymore, is a hula grub. This is a Chomper's hula grub, and a lot of times, like, here's a Jack Baits jig head. I just thread that hula grub right on them jig heads. And a lot of times, this, instead of putting a skirt on there, boy, when them winter months get here, you know, them hula grubs work just as good. I mean, them are 100% proven in the Ozarks, you know, for a lot of years. But that little dude right there will catch them. But yeah, going back to trailers, I use that as my contrast. So, for instance, say I have a green pumpkin jig. Here's that little Dirks jig right here, just green pumpkin brown. And so I want that there's that motion penny crawl. I want that dude on this because now it breaks up my contrast. So instead of running a green pumpkin trailer, let's throw that dude on there here. I mean, that is dynamite right there. But instead of throwing a green pumpkin trailer, something that matches my jig, I want to break that contrast up. So I'm going to throw a different color trailer. The thing I like about green pumpkin trailers, like here's that crocodile ring curl. What I like about green pumpkin is I can alter the color. So green pumpkin holds orange extremely well. So say you have orange, a little dye marker, you can paint the pinchers, you can paint, you know, half the body, it doesn't matter, or chartreuse, blue, red. Green pumpkin takes color extremely well compared to trying to dye a black and blue. Another one that, you know, it holds extremely well is you know, brown. Them are the colors you can alter the most. So that's why I stay basic with these two colors, because they hold the color. So when I want to add color to a bait, I don't have to switch a jig out. All I got to do is maybe touch up a little color on the pinchers, add color to it. And again, it takes away confusion. The biggest thing, being a tournament angler, the biggest thing is being on the water and being confused, you know, on what to do. And I'm bad about it, just like everybody else is. I carry 300 crankbaits in the summertime with me all the time because I'm a bass head that likes cranking. I wish I could be that way, or I wish I could downsize it like I do my jig box. My jig box consists of very simple colors. And again, these are just finessey baits that we throw in the wintertime. But again, green browns, stay simple, stay focused. Don't get confused on, you know, it doesn't matter. There's two ways to that. I think it does matter. Color does matter. But I think it's also placement. That's the biggest thing. So, I stay basic because our crawls in the Ozarks, most of them are green pumpkin with orange or green pumpkin. You get down south, some of them turn black. We got a lot of, especially if you get in the creeks in the Ozarks, a lot of them are brown hues. So, again, we don't have any wild color. I mean, we do. There is times of the year where some of them crawls get wild colors. But for the most time in the winter and springtime, you flip a rock over, most of them are going to be green and brown, black, stuff like that. Maybe with a little bit of color on them. But, so, again, stay basic, stay focused. That's the finesse side of things. We got a lot more to talk about. I'll throw some more in there tomorrow night and just talk a little bit about rods, lines, stuff like that. And yeah, we'll just keep rolling with this, guys. Take care.